Welcome to the Center for Accessibility Resources webinar. And I'm going to turn this right over to Lisa Ward and Arlene Stinson. Thank you so much and welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. So thanks everyone for coming and joining us to learn about the process for requesting academic accommodations at Mercer. I can't see if you're writing in the chat, so I guess if you can let me know if you have questions along the way, because I've got the PowerPoint up. But what we're hoping to do today is share with you all the process for requesting academic accommodations at Mercer. And quite honestly, the most important thing for you all to know today is that if you had an IEP or a 504 plan in high school, or if you have a disability, your IEP and your 504 plan are not automatically transferred to Mercer from your high school. And that's very important to know because students often think that's the case, that the IEP automatically comes with them. There's actually a process that you must follow if you wish to request academic accommodations. When you come to college, you will not have an IEP or a 504 plan, for those of you who may have had that. And it's because when you graduate from high school, special education ends. So that means you will not have the IEP. So it's very important to know that if you'd like to request what we call accommodations, you have to follow a completely fresh process, which we'll go over in a moment. Another important part of the process is that college does not provide evaluations. So students must either provide evaluations from the child study team in high school or from a specialist who's diagnosed you with a particular condition. So it's very important. The college does not provide evaluations. In certain circumstances, we can refer you to some community-based resources that can provide evaluations, but again, that's something that a student will provide at the time that they request their accommodations. So what is it? So we're talking all about academic accommodations. What does that even mean? So most students who had IEPs or 504s in high school, they don't really hear that word much. They just hear the word IEP or 504. Well, an academic accommodation is an adjustment that is implemented to help students access their coursework. And accommodations are based on academic need and documentation. So what does that mean in terms of you as the student? Accommodations will vary depending on the student, the documentation, and their needs. So here's just a very small list of examples of academic accommodations. They can include things like wheelchair accessible desks, sign language interpreters, CART services, extended course testing time, the use of personal technology in class. So those are just a small number of examples. So what is not an accommodation? So think about it this way. In high school, special education allows for the modification of your education. Modification means change. So we cannot change your exams at the college level. We can't exempt you from exams or say that you only have to answer the multiple choice. Got to do the whole thing. Students are not exempt from assignments or projects or papers. You have to do everything that's related to the course you're taking. Due dates are never changed at the college level. So if an assignment is due on June 1st for your classmates, you turn it in on June 1st. There's no adjustment of calendar due dates. Work is not read to students by the college staff when you get to college. So there's no child study team either. So instructional aides or the two teachers in classroom doesn't happen when you get to the college level. So those are some of the big differences between IEP and accommodations at college. And again, when you go through the process and we meet with you, we go through that in a very comprehensive way. That's just some general information. So we're talking about accommodations. So how exactly do I go about receiving these accommodations? So all of the process is actually listed on the Mercer website. So it's really important to look at the Mercer website while you're on campus. We have lots of computer labs where you can check it out if you don't have internet access at home. You can also stop by our offices and we can hand you some information that will help guide you if you are not able to access internet to look at the process. But the first step for students who are currently registered for classes is to complete the online request for accommodation form. And again, that's available on the Mercer website. And you simply email it to our email. That's CAR, C-A-R, at mccc.edu. And it's a simple one-page document that you'll complete, letting us know you'd like to pursue requesting academic accommodations. The next step is to email us primary documentation of disability. Please do not send us your IEP or your 504 plan because we don't collect those at college. Please do not send the IEP or the 504. What you can do is email us your most recent education evaluation and psychological evaluation if you had an IEP. Those can be sent to us by email and we can review those for you. Not the IEP itself, but the evaluations. If you had a different circumstance that was not an IEP, please refer to the Overview and Documentation Guidelines PDF for full details about the providers that can provide documentation for you and what they have to include in that documentation. Once we receive your request for accommodation form and your documentation supporting the request, we will arrange what we call an intake appointment, where we will go through everything, talk about and discuss academic accommodations, and get you set up with an accommodation form for the semester. This link will show you points to where all of the forms we discussed above can be found on the Mercer website. This is a list of resources that we also have on our webpage on the www.mccc.edu. We have a pretty robust list of resources, but these are some common ones that students can find very helpful. Bookshare.org is a nonprofit organization that's connected to Learning Ally. If you used Learning Ally in high school, Bookshare allows you to apply for an individual account to obtain audiobooks, if that's something you're interested in. They have a process that you'd follow, not connected to us, but it's a very helpful resource. We also send students weekly check-in emails, and we too do a end of semester gift card raffle. So we kind of hope to incentivize you guys to read our emails because we're not spamming you. We really just want to help you and check in, and we share all sorts of resources that are helpful to you on campus. We also hold a weekly open office hour where you can stop in without an appointment and chat about whatever's going on, ask questions. We can provide campus referrals, and it's a really nice way for you to check in just to let us know how things are going, because at college, your professors will not reach out to tell us, what's going on. So that's a nice way to do it. We also have a link here that talks about the benefits of using assistive technology. We talk a lot about assistive technology when we do our intake. So, you can review this link and maybe prior to a meeting with us so that maybe you can ask us questions about, what makes sense for you to use in class. Then we also have a nice tip on executive functioning, and that's kind of like the best way to help you to organize yourself as a college student. As you know, there's a lot more independence when you get to college. The expectation is that you will know how to find your resources and how to get your work organized. And this link will kind of help you with all those types of things. And then the full list of our resources can be found on the Mercer website, which is again, mccc.edu. And we'd just like to thank you at this point for coming out to spend a little time with us to learn about the support we offer at Mercer. I am going to click out of the screen to see if we have any questions in the chat from the group to see if there's anything you all are interested in. So give me 1 second.
I'll jump in while Lisa is doing that. My name is Arlene and welcome for coming. And Lisa, thanks for doing such a great overview. I think the two important takeaways, one is if you don't tell us about it, we won't know. Nobody communicates with us about you except you. And we don't communicate to anyone about you without you being there. So you are really, the student is really driving the bus on this. The other thing is generally, unlike high school, there's a flexibility in college. So if you let us know, and if you let us know that something's not working for you in a timely manner, we may not be able to make it perfect, but we can usually address the question and try to make an adjustment. We can try to fix it again. So you've got to let us know what's going on and keep us posted. And we're happy to help. That's our job. And we'll try like heck to fix it for you. Our goal is for you to have a very smooth landing when you come to college, to do really well as an academic and as a scholar, and to have some fun.
Did anybody have any questions they wanted to put in the chat? I don't think I see anything.
I didn't see any either. We had a quiet bunch here. So anyone, you can unmute yourself if you'd rather ask with your voice, or you can put it in the chat. If chat is right down on the bottom there, you can just click on that chat bubble and then type your question in if you're interested. And I know that both Arlene and Lisa are also available too. They explained that their office is available for you and their contact information is right on the website. I'll include it too on the YouTube where I'll repost this later. But thank you so much for everybody for coming. I am going to go ahead and click on, I'll put that survey there if you want to complete the survey for us. If you have any questions in that too, I can definitely send it along to CAR and they can respond to you that way if you could give me your information on that survey. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, Lisa and Arlene, for your time. We appreciate you and we're looking forward to a fall semester and seeing everyone on campus again.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you soon. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.